Hello and welcome to ABS News Talk. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning in from across the globe. For those of you tuning in from Ambazonia, we say good evening and welcome, and of course, all of you tuning in by way of satellite in all of Africa, and of course, all of you in the diaspora, talking about Europe, the continental USA, Canada, South America, the far and the near east, wherever that you are. It's a privilege to come to you tonight with what is going on in Ambazonia. Precisely, that is our focus tonight. The divisional officer for Bamenda 2 escapes capture. We are told we're going to bring you those details. And also, an Ambazonian immigrant in La République du Cameroon's home is burnt down and he is asked to leave. He doesn't belong, and that is happening right there in the capital of La République du Cameroon in Yaounde. These and many other subjects I will be bringing to you tonight. It is going to be very exciting. If you are just tuning in, please, by way of social media, I ask you to do me the favor, hit your share button. Hit your share button. I want to see the numbers jumping. I want to see the numbers jumping on YouTube and Facebook. I realize nowadays we're having more viewers on the YouTube than on Facebook. I don't know why. The tides are turning. Facebook is no longer sending out notifications for our shows. We don't know why. I guess that's why many people are not tuning in there. But we'll find so many joining by way of YouTube. Thank you so very much. We are also on Twitter. So, of course, Roku and satellite television. I will be right back with you in a few seconds. Stay tuned.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. And again, as usual, please do me the favor, go ahead, hit your share button if you are joining by way of YouTube or Facebook. And we will start tonight from La République du Cameroon's capital in Yaounde. I understand precisely this town is called Ntui. I guess Ntui is in the outskirts of La République du Cameroon's capital in Yaounde, where an Ambazonian family, as you can find on your screen. The images you find on your screen are the images of a home belonging to an Ambazonian family who escaped the war precisely from the BLM County, moved to La République du Cameroon's center region, they call it, precisely in the small town in the outskirts of Yaounde called Ntui. And how he managed to get a piece of land and erected a home there, I cannot understand. I do not know. He housed 10 other families in this particular home. But apparently, 2 days ago, he said the chief the chief of the town came around without any notification, brought talks with him, whom he asked to pull down, burned down the house. As you find the remains there, I like to bring you the images, the full images from the family. Listen to this.
Now my house where I want come back for bush. Yes. My house where I want come back for bush. They don't scatter them. Chief Officer Kuno Ntui. They don't scatter them. Say he want be school, and they not even give me no notice. I turn out before house. Now the house is all we did for this house is 10. My picking them where they go school. All my things them where they did for her, my woman, my money, and money where they take and make market. From backside, I did 10 meters. From the road, I did 25 meters away. We they scattered in my house. I did so. I be homeless with 10 people. We I bring them. Now we don't drive way from Southwest Province, the BLM Division. We I can't be for years. Say me I come make my own home for inside my country, Cameroon. Now in this way, I don't turn rebel. I don't turn some kind of man where they can't scatter my house. Papa, we wanna see them. They never give me notice, say come out before I not come out. This place I don't buy and pay money. They give me small paper. Chief they aware. It will take your own money. I give them for you. So, we wanna see them. They never give me notice, say come out before I not come out. This place I don't buy and pay money. They give me small paper. Chief they aware. It will take your own money. I give them for you. So, country wanna tell me if you want come to scatter your house, how you could do? I don't be homeless with my people. We not get place for sleep. We not get place for go. Now they take and so. From the right, my neighbor they did not touch it. From the left, my neighbor they scatter their own side. They scatter their own house. So I did so. Now road this way, I reclaim Tana for road. I reclaim Tana for road. You see? Now fee for football day for my back. She be talk say go can't scatter me, take him die school. Even if he can't scatter me for can't tell me say me I come out. I pack my thing, I for come out. I not for turn head. But I be very surprised yesterday. I want come they don't scatter all thing. Now main road I turn up, now the house is all thing down. All bed, no nothing. Money, kako with it buy them. We make market. Stick was some help them. My machine engine saw a day for house. I know the Siam.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to that commentary from the owner of the house you see on your screen. Again, this is happening in the outskirts of Yaounde in a little town called Intui. A little town called Intui. That is where this happened. And the story that is being reported says an Anglophone, of course, I'm reading from a report from the French media. It says an Anglophone who fled from the BLM to Intui in the center region outskirts of Yaounde says he came back home from the farm just to discover that his chief, that is, his traditional ruler, had ordered thugs to destroy his house, the shambles of which you find on your screen. The man said he was not notified before the exercise, but the chief said the village plans to build a school where he constructed the house. The man said he was not notified before the exercise, but the chief said the village plans to build a school where he constructed his house. Do you even believe that story? I don't think any right-thinking person will believe that that house, and only that house in that neighborhood with other homes remaining standing, was brought down because just only on that particular plot the village want to put up a school. I want to believe the only reason that house was pulled down is because they didn't like the fact that this guy came all the way from Amazonia, erected a house there, was industrious and was carrying out successful business in that community. They came and they pulled down the house. And the man said he had even bought the plot. Wherever you got the money to buy the plot, coming all the way from Libya in time of war, it's just not understandable. But he was able to do that, hosting or housing 10 other people. Housing 10 other people in that house, giving them refuge all the way from Amazonia. But the traditional ruler of that community in the outskirts of Yaounde came and brought thugs and they pulled down the house. Now you would expect or hope that the authorities in La République du Cameroon will say, you crossed the red line. No, you will not hear anything. You won't hear anything. The man, the traditional ruler, the chief, will go scot-free. Why? Because he comes from the privileged tribe, the Bulu or a Yaounde tribe. They own the country, they rule the country, and so he will go scot-free. Will there be any compensation? Of course not. But take note, this is the same traditional ruler, the same chief who sold a plot of land to this man who is now lamenting over the destruction of the house. In fact, in that video footage you hear the owner says he has the receipt and that the chief collected his own money when he bought a piece of land. But it is the same chief who has sent thugs to come back and destroy the house. Didn't they realize the place was so good to put up a school before they sold it and collected money from this refugee from Amazonia in La République du Cameroon? Didn't they know that? Didn't they know that? Well, we are watching. We are watching to see what the authorities in La République du Cameroon do. Whether this man will receive full compensation and payment for pain and suffering for what he and his family has gone through. We are observing, we are watching to see. And we hope that this doesn't happen to other Amazonians living in La République du Cameroon, escaping from a war declared against them by the Republic of Cameroon. I hope that other Amazonians living in that country take note of this, because it can happen. It can happen to any of you living in that country. Those of you with lands, with homes or houses in La République du Cameroon, especially in the center, south, Ebolowa, and all those regions, take note. Even in Douala, Bafoussam, and all those places, it can happen to you. Now, this thing is very important and relevant because they go into a community and pick up a house belonging to an Amazonian and destroy it. The war has been going on in Amazonia for 7 years and counting. No property, no Francophone property has been touched. Zero. But over there in Yaounde, this is not the first Amazonian property touched. Others have been killed, and some others, like these ones, rendered homeless. But in Amazonia, the Amazonian people have been so kind, so generous. They haven't touched a single property belonging to Francophones in our territory. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine if Amazonians were to take revenge to the property of Francophones living in Amazonia? Can you imagine that? And the day that it happens, if you live in Yaounde, you live in Douala, you live in the central south of La République du Cameroon, I learned there are so many Ambazonians living there. You live there. I have been warning many of you, begin to sell that property. Sell that property. It is better to save cash than to have that property burnt down or confiscated when things escalate. When things escalate in Ambazonia. Please be wise. So that is what happened there. I hope that the generosity of other Ambazonians across the globe will go to help this man and put some shelter over his head and that of the family. That is it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay put. I will be right back with you in less than a second. Don't touch your remote. Instead, please go ahead, continue to hit your share button.
So it was God's grace that I managed to escape.
Indeed.
In the night. So I've trekked for 10 hours. Yes. So it was God's grace that I managed to escape.
Indeed.
In the night. So I've trekked for 10 hours. Yes. So it was God's grace that I managed to escape.
Indeed.
In the night. So I've trekked for 10 hours. Yes. So it was God's grace that I managed to escape.
Indeed.
In the night. So I've trekked for 10 hours. Yes. So it was God's grace that I managed to escape.
Indeed.
In the night. So I've trekked for 10 hours. Yes. So it was God's grace that I managed to escape.
Indeed.
In the night. So I've trekked for 10 hours. Yes. So it was God's grace that I managed to escape.
Indeed.
In the night. So I've trekked for 10
All
hours.
right, ladies and gentlemen,
So,
you are looking there
God's
on
grace that I
your screen.
managed to
On your screen, they allegedly captured Senior Divisional Officer 2 of Bamenda in Mezam County. The gentleman was picked up or captured allegedly also by restoration fighters of Ambazonia. That isn't confirmed. That isn't confirmed yet. You listen to the colonial officer there. He says he escaped. He escaped, and he trekked. He trekked for 10 hours. 10 hours. Now he was captured among, I think, 5 others who were in the same convoy. But surprisingly, right? Surprisingly, he is the only one. He is the only one, allegedly with one other person, who escaped. What happened to the others? Nobody knows. Nobody has an idea. Now the governor in Bamenda says, the colonial governor says, the gentleman was freed thanks to the head of state. The head of state learned about it and said he must be free. I'd like to bring to you a report on this incident written by Andrew Nsokeka. Andrew Nsoseka, I think he was writing this report for the human rights group. This is what Andrew reports. Now, this is their report, not our report. This is their report. He writes, The governor of the Northwest region, Adolphe Lelela Frick, and the DO of Bamenda 2, Nicholas Nkongo Manchang, who was kidnapped on February 6 by suspected separatist fighters in Donga Mantung Division, have both in separate uncoordinated outings given conflicting reports on how the DO regained his freedom. The DO's release came about a day after he was allegedly kidnapped on his way to Nkambe for the installation of the SDO for Donga Mantung, former Secretary General at Northwest Governor's Office. The abduction of the DO on February 6, 2024 was shocking to many, who raised several questions bordering on why the DO was traveling on such a risky stretch of road, inundated by separatists without sufficient security. Again, if that is even true. Different unsubstantiated answers also filled the social media space, trying to justify what happened to the DO. In the 9-second video, I think he's referring to the video you find on your screen there. In the 9-second video clip making rounds on the social media, Nicholas Nkongo says, "It was God's grace, God's grace, God's grace that managed to escape. God's grace, it was God's grace that I managed, in quote, to escape in the night. So I had to trek for 10 hours. He says in that video clip you see in front of you. On his part, Northwest Regional Governor Adolphe Lelela Frick, at a public event in Nkambe where the abducted DO was heading to, said the victim was freed by government soldiers on the instruction, these are not my words, on the instructions of President Biya. Ladies and gentlemen, I really don't understand whether you need instructions from President Biya or from any president in that matter to free somebody or to save somebody who is captured. Do you need that? That is a psychophancy that exists in that country. But let me continue reading that story. The DO and some collaborators were... Now, the question is, if the head of state gave those instructions for the DO to be freed, how about the other members of the convoy who were with him? I guess the head of state didn't give instructions for them to be freed, isn't it? I guess so. Now, the report says the DO and some collaborators were on their way to witness the installation of the SDO in Nkambe when they were ambushed by separatist fighters, whom the governor called terrorists. Yeah, terrorists. Aware of this horrible incident, the head of state, now listen to that again, that is Cameroon for you, the head of state, always the head of state. The head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, instructed firmly, firmly, the administrative authorities and security services to carry out a swift military operation in order to set free the hostages. The head of state, His Excellency, the guy who is 94 years old and as good as vegetable, he gave high instructions that this guy should be freed immediately and the other captors. But this guy is freed immediately and he walks he treks for 10 hours on the instructions of the head of state or what? 10 hours? Come on, the head of state? The man doesn't exist. Let me continue reading the story here. It says, as His Excellency Paul Biya instructed firmly the administrative authorities and security services to carry out a swift military operation in order to set free the hostages. As such, 4 hours later, he received reliable information, referring to the governor there. We received reliable information that the said administrative authority was freed, thanks to the bravery and professionalism of our valiant military forces, as well as the bravery of the abducted victims. The victims are still in captivity, and he is thanking the bravery of the so-called security forces. Now, the governor of order called on stakeholders present at the installation ceremony to work together to free the remaining hostages who were taken alongside the DO. About 5 other persons taken alongside the DO are still said to be in captivity. In captivity. The governor did not say why they were not rescued alongside the DO. By the military, he said, secured the release of the orders. Of the orders, ladies and gentlemen. I think there are quite a number of unanswered questions as far as the so-called abduction or capture of a colonial officer is concerned. These guys are known to move around with high security in front and behind them, wherever they go. How come he could be captured with 5 others, ladies and gentlemen, without the intervention of the forces? Where was his security team? Where was the military convoy that normally goes away with them? So I am kind of beginning to think that this thing was probably never even existed, or it was just a stage event, a stage incident. That is what I think. That having said that, let me bring you my monologue on this subject right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring you my talking point on this subject, because it is quite interesting. It is quite interesting the way the colonial officials are making up this story that a colonial officer is freed by the military, but he had to trek for 10 hours. We'll come on to that. We will come to that. In news that made waves Tuesday, February 6th, from social media, a colonial at Republic of Cameroon senior administrator, Nicolas Nkongo, was picked up along with his convoy as they headed for Ndonga Mantung County in Ambazonia. The incident has raised numerous questions about the circumstances surrounding his capture, alleged capture. Many are left wondering whether the Cameroon army sacrificed him and his convoy, and why there was a lack of regular military protection, despite the high security risks associated with La République du Cameroon's administrators of his rank in Ambazonia, owing to the ongoing conflict. Many are questioning the absence of a military escort at the time of this capture, apprehension. Typically, administrators of such high rank and risk are not known, ladies and gentlemen, to travel without trucks of military convoys. The absence of a visible military presence during the apprehension has fueled speculations about the possible involvement or negligence of the Cameroon army. It appears everything was either arranged or just a setup. To the disappointment of many who would have preferred the administrator dead. They got up this morning to a video of him in a makeshift house, the one you find in front of you there, a makeshift house, testifying of his escape and 10 miles walk. He says he escaped and trekked 10 hours and 10 kilometers for safety. He doesn't explain how only him alone escaped the convoy. This lends credence to the idea that this whole capture thing may just have been staged. But assuming that it wasn't staged, the incident has prompted speculation about the differential treatment he might have received compared to administrators from the Francophone regions of La République du Cameroon. If he were from the Francophone region of Cameroon, would he be traveling, if indeed he was, would he be traveling without military protection? wouldn't the Cameroon army have launched an immediate full-scale manhunt for his rescue? Your answers probably would be as good as mine. However, suffice it to say that amidst the apprehension, the capture, the Ambazonian population has expressed mixed emotions over the capture of the administrator, Nicolas Nkongo. While he is an Ambazonian himself, his role in Bamenda and alleged involvement in the abuse of the civilian population in that city has led to a complex response from that community regarding his apprehension. So members of the community expressed a sense of vindication and satisfaction at his capture, viewing it as a form of retribution for his abrasive tactics aimed at quashing Ghost Town in Bamenda. This sentiment also underscores the deep-seated grievances and frustrations that have fueled the conflict in the territory. There are those within the Ambazonian community who wish for similar fates to befall other La République du Cameroon administrators until the conflict in Ambazonia comes to an end. This call for retribution and all justice, albeit through extrajudicial means, reflects the profound disillusionment and detestation of anything La République du Cameroon by the population in Ambazonia. That is my talking point, ladies and gentlemen. I am being joined by Comrade Mars Tanji and the Honorable Sama Thomas will be joining this broadcast also soon. Let me start with you, Comrade Mars. You have listened to the two stories, one from a reporter reporting how it happens, and the conflict between the narrative from the governor and the narrative from the captive. The captive said he escaped and tried for 10 hours. Their governor says the head of state, upon his high instructions, asked that he be rescued at all costs. Which of this narrative do you take, sir?
Thank you, Comrade Chris, for having me on the show. All Ambazonians, those on Ground Zero, those in diaspora, strong fighters, they are defending our nation. I greet you all, and again, I'm happy to be here. Concerning this story of the DO of Bamenda 2 being captured, I think, Comrade Chris, is all a setup. If our fighters, if the people defending our nation had actually captured him, he would not be here. I'm sure he would have been on his way to Ekima, would have been receiving him by now. So all this thing about whether they do, he would not. Where did he escape to trek 10 hours? And does that look like a man who's trekked 10 hours? And
Yeah,
plus,
that's the question. That is the question. He doesn't look like a man who trekked 10 hours. Please, technician, put on that image on the screen.
does that look like a man who's
Yeah,
trekked 10 hours?
he doesn't look like a man who trekked 10 hours. Look at him there.
Exactly. For the governor, their so-called governor, to come and say he was rescued. If he was rescued, then good. Where were the others? Why did he have to trek 10 hours? Did they not carry him to protect him? If he had been captured and they rescued him and let him be trekking for 10 hours, were they endangering his life or saving him? Does that make sense? You go to rescue somebody, you rescue them, and then you let them to trek for 10 hours.
Right.
In the jungles. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. So it's all a made-up stories, and it doesn't collaborate. Maybe they forgot to actually sit down and plan it properly. Yes.
Yeah, more live.
So,
If you had a time, I sent you the link. If you can join, that would be fine. If not, that it's okay.
yeah, so he does not look like a man who's one. He does not look like a man who's
to join me on the show live. I'm live now. If you can join, that is fine. If you cannot, no problem.
Yes. One, he does not look like a man who's take 15 hours. Two, it would have been very, very, very.
Okay, all right. That's fine. Yeah.
Are you with us, Comrade Chris?
Yes, sir. Go on. I can hear you. Go on.
Yes. Yeah. First, the couple of things here. One, he does not look like a man who's been trekking for 10 hours. Number two, it would have been very irresponsible of La République to actually go and rescue somebody, then let him trek in the jungle. That's in danger, a more dangerous place, to trek for 10 hours. Number three, if he was really going to the inauguration as he claims, and he was captured on the way, you ask the right question: where was his own security? Is it because his life does not matter? And Comrade Chris, I would like to disagree one thing you said with you, that you said he is an Ambazonian. No, he is not an Ambazonian. He might have been born in Ambazonia by Ambazonian families, but an Ambazonia is somebody who believes in an independent Ambazonia. You cannot be an Ambazonia when you're with La République. That's not an Ambazonia. It's just somebody who was born in Ambazonia. So he has been, the La République is discriminating against him, if that story is true, because he's from that, or he's got an Ambazonian origin. Because they cannot put his life at risk. Other, the governor does not travel around. Other deals do not travel around without security. Well, he was left. Yes, he was left to dry.
Absolutely.
So
the whole story just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up because you don't. You are not rescued, and then you trek for 10 hours,
in the bush,
right? Then you have about 6 or 7 of you in a convoy, and just you, right? Just you succeed to escape. The others are still missing. But the governor says, under high instructions of the head of state, they went for him and they got him. I understand that.
So they went for him alone. What happened to the others? What happened to the others? So their lives didn't matter?
Right. Right.
Then, Comrade Chris, I don't know when you want me to comment on the issue of the burning of the house or the demolishing of the house of an Ambazonian.
We will come back there. We will come back there. Let us dwell a little bit more on this story. I'd like you to look at the headline. That is a Cameroon media, La République du Cameroon's media. Suspected amber fighters kidnapped Bamenda 2D 5 others. And then you can also see the headline in their French newspaper. Les Ambazoniens kidnapping. I don't know whether that's the right pronunciation there.
Yes. Comrade Chris, the thing is that all this is staged. So that they can use as an advantage or a reason to try and clamp down to prepare for the 11th February. It's all staged because their stories do not collaborate. They don't make sense. You cannot be captured.
What I don't understand though is why would they do this? Why would they stage this? I mean, you have an idea?
To have a reason to come and infiltrate the area or torture people, preparing them to come and march for 11 February so that they show that they are on their side. It's all. I think that's my take. But it does not. Whatever happens, you go and rescue somebody, then you release them to walk in the same danger that they were captured before you came and release them for 10 hours. At least before they were captured, they had a convoy. But now you're releasing a lone wolf, lone person to walk for 10 hours in the jungle with the risk of being captured again. How does that work? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Now this is a guy who lives somewhere in the city of Bamenda. He says in this narrative that or in what so the stories I have read so far, that he trekked all the way to the gendarmerie barrack. I think that is what is coming from their colonial governor. That he trekked all the way to the gendarmerie barrack in Tumbo. And Tumbo is a village next to Ngaribu where they assassinated, where they caused genocide there. This guy doesn't know that place. How did he find out where the gendarmerie barrack in that location is?
It's all a stage, to be honest with you. One, he does not even look like somebody who's trekked for 10 hours. Look, I have trekked, and somebody who's trekked for 10 hours, why didn't he show his legs to show blisters? Why didn't he? It's all staged, and they don't even know how to even fake something. That's the worrying thing there. They want to stage a movie, but they don't even know how to act. The scripts don't add up.
You see, the whole thing is quite interesting. Now, according to the news reports, 5 others are still in captivity. 5 others are still in captivity. I don't know what he will be saying about the 5 others who are still in captivity, because if indeed they were abducted or captured, he should be explaining where those 5 others are and how only him alone succeeded or to escape from the hands of their captors. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. There is something that we don't know yet about this story.
Yeah, my question is, how were they picked up? What happened that they were actually picked up?
Correct.
They just came and grabbed the 5 of them? I mean, how were they picked up? Who picked them up? How did they stop to be picked up?
Well, let's hope that we get further developments about this story as time goes on. We would like to hear from him what he said. But before we navigate to the other story, what do you think of the governor attributing everything that happened to the high orders of the head of state?
Comrade Chris, that does not surprise me at all, because nothing happens in La République. Even in giving birth to a child, nothing happens in La République without the approval of the head of state, without our head of state say push before the child comes out. No. Everything anybody says, they have to relate. You haven't heard Atanganji speak without ever mentioning all the head of state. Thanks to the head of state. Everybody, that is your catchphrase. Thank the head of state. Everything that happens in La République has to end up at the desk of the head of state.
The day that the head of state dies, I think that country will die with him.
Yes.
We'll thank him now.
Yeah, so nobody in La République, doesn't matter what position you are in, you have no authority to do anything, to even sign any paper or give any orders without it coming from the head of state.
Yeah.
That is the law.
This is what I have to say before we navigate to the next story. We want to know from this colonial officer who picked him up, where they were picked up, where was his security team, how did he escape, and how did he get his way to a gendarmerie post if that is exactly what happened? How did he get out of the jungle, find himself out of the jungle to a gendarmerie post? These are the questions we want to know from him. And we also want to know how come he was the only one who was able to escape. Was he separated from the others? We want to know. Chairman Maz, you want to say something there?
Yeah, and he needs to say what is the hope for the lives of the other 5 people. Are they being treated nicely, or do they need to send a proper rescue team to go and rescue those 5?
All right, all right. When we come back, we are going to go back to the Yaounde incident, the home destruction there. So please keep on hitting your share button. Going to be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I take you back again to this Yaounde story where an Amazonian refugee in a little town called Intui. Intui is in the central region of La République du Cameroon, in the outskirts of Yaounde. He moves out there in the midst of war. He's able to afford some money to acquire a piece of plot on which he erects a house for him and 10 other people. He wakes up in the morning, goes to the farm, and upon return from the farm, the house is down. He is told that the traditional ruler of the town came with thugs, pulled down the house on the pretext that they will be erecting a school in the community only on that particular plot. Only on that particular plot. Chairman Mas, you have been trying to say something about this incident. What can you say, sir?
Okay, thank you. This is a clear indication to all those who are still on the illusion that Cameroon is one and indivisible. This is a clear indication that no, we're not one. Because if you are in a country that you call your own, you should be able to go anywhere, and within the laws, as long as you stay within the bounds of the law, you acquire for yourself a piece of land, you build your house, you should be respected in that community. The only reason why this guy's house was torn down was because he's an Amazonian citizen. He's a refugee. So he was not allowed in their country. And this is a message to all the other refugees, Amazonian refugees, who are seeking refuge in La République land, that you are not part of them. Even if you think you're part of them, they know that you're not part of them. And they treat you like a stranger, or even worse than that, as an enemy. So if anybody still living on that illusion needs to rethink whether that is what they really want. Amazonia is Amazonia, La République is our neighbor. If you're there, you know that you are there as a refugee, and keep your low profile as a refugee, because you are not part of them. The only time you are part of them that they give is when they want to take from you. When this guy was buying his land, or the land, they never told him, no, you cannot acquire the land. They took his money. Now they've come, after they've taken his money, they brought down his house, and they want to take his land to build a school. Why only his land? Look at other houses next door. If you want to build a school, I'm sure you need a bigger piece of land than that plot to build a proper school. And there's a field behind that house, because I've watched this video before. Why don't they use that field to build a school? Why his house? Cameroon is not one and indivisible. There is La République and there is Ambazonia. Let people understand that. And we will never be one. We're separate. Any Ambazonian living in La République land should know that they're a refugee, or except they want to acquire nationality or get nationality for that country. But they're a refugee, they take it like that and be preparing to come back home, or whatever happens to them, fine. But this is clear indication. It cannot speak any louder than that. Anybody who was still under illusion, see it for yourself. It will happen to you too. This is not the first one, and it will not be the last. And as long as this war carries on, we're going to get more and more and more of this. So Ambazonians in La République land, prepare yourself for the worst. Thank you.
Well, I have said that in the course of the 7 years and counting of this war, Ambazonians have been very kind and very considerate to La République du Cameroon citizens living in our territory, in that hardly have their businesses been touched, talk less of their homes. And yet, this is not the first Ambazonian home touched, destroyed in La République du Cameroon. We have seen other instances where Ambazonians are chased out of the south region of La République du Cameroon. We've seen situations where some have been chased out of their homes in their capital, Yaounde, and some killed. But we have been very lenient in Ambazonia, trying to avoid situations like this. Don't you think it is time that we begin to let La République du Cameroon citizens in Ambazonia know that this thing has to have collateral damage? Collateral damage. If it means escalating to the degree where our people are sent out of La République du Cameroon and theirs are sent out of Ambazonia, so be it. What is wrong about that? Anything wrong with that?
Comrade Chris, yes, that was a point that I forgot to mention. Ambazonians have been too nice for my liking. In 2017, I wrote a document saying that if we want to win this war and win it quick, we must get rid of the Francophones in our land, because they will keep betraying us. They will keep showing where our boys are hiding. We've seen it. They contributed money and gave to Bia to come and kill us. The houses of Anglophones or the houses of Ambazonians that were burned down in Ambazonia were shown by La République citizens, because an Ambazonian house will be here, La République citizens' house will be next door. They burn Ambazonians' houses, they don't burn La République's houses. So Ambazonians have been too nice. We need to burn down, La République citizens need to leave our land. We need to burn down their houses. We did burn down our houses in our own land. They burn down our houses in their own land. What more do we need? We cannot, our citizens cannot stay peacefully in their own houses in our land. They cannot stay peacefully as refugees. What more do we need to know that, look, we need to do something too? As long as we keep being nice, we're prolonging the war.
Yeah, I really am hoping that the restoration fighters in Ambazonia will look at these images and begin to say to themselves, this cannot happen, this cannot continue. There is no reason why Francophones in our territory should live in peace and tranquility. Why our own people cannot live in same peace and tranquility on their part of the country. This war was declared by them. And if they will chase us out from our own territory and chase us out from their own territory, then there has to be retribution. Ambazonia restoration fighters must listen to this message. There has to be retribution. We've been hoping that we will take this conflict into our republic to Cameroon, but so far the plan is still on the way. But seeing things like this, they just get me really, really mad, because these are people who call us brothers. We are all brothers. The brothers cannot even buy a piece of blood and bury it within their own community. But within our own community, they have bought virtually every piece of land. As you know, you go to Bamenda, all of upstation Bamenda has been bought by Francophones. You go into Mancon, all bought by Francophones. Go into Nkwen, Bambili, bought by Francophones. Go to Victoria. It's no longer an Ambazonian town, Anglo-Saxon, it is Francophone. I learned they are entering Kumba too in the same manner. I was also told the stretch of land between Kumba and Mamfe has all been bought by Francophone. They are planting cocoa in whatever. Even inside the BLM, they are descending from Chang and buying farms inside the BLM. Ambazonians, listen to the sound of my voice. I am telling you, if we do not win this war and conflict, you need only 20 years for the majority of residents or citizens in Ambazonia to be Francophones. And even if they are not in the majority, they will control the economy and control the politics. They'll have to decide. Come on, look at that. We've had Francophone mayors in Bamenda. We've had Francophone mayors in the Moyoka and other places. They are coming. And I'm telling you, if we think that we have seen anything evil from these people, you haven't seen it yet. It is going to be... Chairman Max, take over from there. I am just...
No. Yes, the point there is that we need to devise a policy. We don't need a lot of effort. This guy's house was brought down. Just when he went to the farm, by the time he came back, the house was no more. Ambazonians can do that. We don't even need our farmers to be the ones doing it. Ambazonian citizens need to see what La Republic citizens are doing to their brothers and sisters in Ambazonia and beyond as refugees, and know that, look, it could happen to them, and they need to be ready. They need to start taking on those La Republic people living amongst them. They need to go. Concerning the lands, they need to know that those Francophones buying those lands need to know that the day Ambazonia will be free, they will not be owners of those lands. Those lands will be returned to the government. If they want to buy the land, they will come that time with a foreign, they'll apply for a visa, come in as a foreigner, and there will be rules of purchasing land that relate to foreigners. I'm not going to sit here and make those rules now. And also,
that doesn't happen. No, that doesn't happen until we have won the war, and which is the reason why we have to win the war.
When we win the war, we will draw those rules. Not now. When we win the war, when we sit at the negotiating table, we negotiate. Everybody goes their part. We will draw those rules. For La Republique citizens to go and do this to somebody they call their brother or one and indivisible just shows the world that we're divided. We have already been divided. And let me say this, Comrade Chris, you were talking about 20 years from if we fail. No, I will not even go 20 years. The plan in La Republique has a plan that once they win this war, there will be no more Ambazonia. All those Ambazonian territories will be controlled from the French areas. Tiko, Kumba, Fako, all those places will be controlled from Littoral.
Yeah, and we're already having mayors, francophone mayors in Chico, francophone mayors in Victoria, in the Moyuka, and all those communities, even in Bamenda.
The BLM will be controlled from Chan, Bamenda, and all those places will be controlled from Bakusam, and all those will just be part. Listen, 10 years, if we lose, there will be no more English. Don't even go to, there will be no more English spoken in that La Republique country called Cameroon. There will be no more English. That is their plan. So we haven't got a choice. This is an existential war. Either we win or we forget about Ambazonia forever.
Let's hope that Ambazonians really know what is at stake here that we are fighting for. Many people take this thing for a joke. It is not a joke. It is a fight of our lifetime. If we should lose it, ladies and gentlemen, if we should lose it, I can assure you we will be worse than slaves in that country. If after 7 years and counting, the Republic continue to just gradually assimilate, gradually stay in the business of doing everything to contain all of us. And you know why the Republic is avoiding any negotiations, any genuine dialogue for this conflict? Because they know if they should agree to any dialogue and they sit on any dialogue table, their hands will be tied and it will puncture their progressive agenda to take over the territory that we call Ambazonia. They know if they sit on the conference table, the dialogue table, we agree into certain, let us assume it is not independence. It would never be the same. It would never be the same because we would have to have a level of autonomy that fends them away from trying to control our territory. Let me explain to you exactly what I mean. In 1972, they did not need to go back to they did not need to go to United Republic of Cameroon. They did not need to. But they saw that under a federal structure with oil in Ambazonia, discovered in Ambazonia, if there was no united country, the president in Yaounde would not have the powers to come over, to cross over into the territory in Ambazonia to look for oil, to siphon oil. And so they sat down and thought about how to do it. They said, let's cancel the federation, let's do away with it and call ourselves. Because a united country is easier to manage, they said. A federal structure will be so expensive to manage. So they said, let's do away with this federation. We are brothers and sisters. Let's do away with the federation. Let's come together. They came together. The reason they came together was because then Ahito can stretch his legs into Ambazonia and begin to siphon the oil. That was the reason for it. And again, I am saying to you today that God forbid this conflict is not over with victory for Ambazonians. Not only will they never be able to open their mouths again in protest or against anything, Ambazonia will be ruled by francophone mayors. Of course, you already know that you are ruled by francophone SDOs and DOs. How many Ambazonian DOs are there in Ambazonia? Very few, very, very few. I'm even surprised that this guy called Nkongo Nicholas, who was picked up, allegedly captured, is Amba. He is actually from Manu. I'm surprised that one of the DOs in Bamenda in that matter will be from Ambazonia. But of course, I guess he's only a subservient over there. Their boss, the SDO, definitely will be francophone. I'm very certain about that. By the time will come, unless we win this war and sit on the table with Cameroon and redefine our boundaries, though they are already there, I am telling you, ladies and gentlemen, your children's children would never live to call themselves, not even Anglophones. You will call yourself Francophones. Francophones. You know, Cameroon has always wanted the world to believe that Cameroon is a French country. I'm sure you all know that. They've always wanted the world to believe Cameroon is a French country. And so when this war broke out, they were not very happy, because then the world knows that part of that country was Anglo-Saxon or is Anglo-Saxon. They are not happy. We've got to make sure victory is within us, is ours at the end of the day. Chairman Mas, I give you the last word on this subject, then we'll move to something else.
Okay. My cry to my fellow Ambazonians in and out of Ambazonia is that this is an existential war. This is a fight for our generations to come. If we don't win, as Comrade Chris has said, I give you 10 years. If we don't win, that there will be no more trace of Ambazonia. There will be no more trace of Ambazonia in that country. La Republic has a plan. So we need to wake up.
We're informed of the
Collective
officer of Bamenda.
We need to wake up and know that, and do everything that we can to fight and win this war. Otherwise, our children and our children's children will never have an Ambazonia. There will be La Republique. And let me give one thing. When the federation started in 1961, there was La Republique du Cameroon and there was West Cameroon. We have now evolved to La Republique du Cameroon. What has become of West Cameroon? What has become of West Cameroon? But 10 years from now, if from the day that we lose this war, there will be no more trace. We're even talking in English now. There will be no more trace of English. There will be no more trace of Ambazonialism. Anything relating to another set of people in that country will all be, well, the people who live there will all be La Republique citizens, and that's it. So please, my brothers and sisters, wake up and join this thing. Join this war so that we can win. Do your part. You don't have to come out. If you're going to burn down your La Republique citizens' house in your neighborhood, you don't need to announce it. Let it just happen.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mas. I just got this footage coming in of the colonial governor in Bamenda addressing the so-called abduction of the DO for Bamenda. Let's listen to it, please. Let's listen to it.
We're informed of the abduction of Divisional officer of Bamenda in Mesan Division and other immediate collaborators who are in their way to come and witness the commissioning of the incoming SG of government. They were ambushed by terrorists. Aware of this horrible incident, the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, instructed firmly the administrative authorities and the security services to carry out a swift military operation in order to set free the hostages. As such, 4 hours later, we received reliable information that the state administrative authority was free. Thanks to the bravery and professionalism of our valiant military forces, as well as the bravery of the abducted victims. Nevertheless, I continue counting and craving the indulgence of the peace-loving population of this Republican and peaceful division. All traditional municipal and regional authorities, all living forces, peace and vigilance groups continue providing the security forces with all information at hand to free the remaining hostages that are still not yet released.
All right.
The population of Lower Mountain Division.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'd like you to listen to the captive himself. Hear what he says. A little bit different from what you hear from the governor. Listen to him.
It was God's grace that I managed to escape.
Indeed.
In the night. So I've trekked for 10 hours. Yes. So it was God's grace that I managed to escape.
Indeed.
In the night. So I've trekked for 10 hours. Yes.
All right. He escaped and he trekked for 10 hours. But the governor says, on the instructions, high instructions of the head of state, the brave and valiant security forces, they rescued him. What a lie. What a lie there. But I would take you guys, ladies and gentlemen, to something else that I would love you to sit back, watch. I'm sure you all are aware of this lady who has been touring Cameroon on her bike. This lady has been touring Cameroon on her bike. Now, I believe she is from Switzerland or one of those Central European countries. This lady has been touring all over the globe, not just Cameroon, but he was in Cameroon and traveled all over the place, left there for the Congo, and somewhere he was stopped by Cameroon so-called security forces, the police. And when you meet the Cameroon police, the corrupt Cameroon police, when you do not volunteer to give them money, they have a way of asking for it by themselves. But it is very shameful and disgraceful that they do this, not just to their own people, but even to tourists, to visitors who come to see the country. People who would have to go out and report on the integrity of the people who live in that country, especially the officials they meet in the country. And so this lady she's heading out to the Congo on his machine, and they stop him somewhere. I've forgotten the name of that town. I'd like you to watch and see what happens. Watch, please.
Yeah, a big chunk of the money that I had left has gone into the to the pockets of the guys at the officials. So anyway, I still managed to buy 6 liters of fuel.
Hello.
And yeah, I'll just see. Yeah,
where have you been? I've been trying
10 to 11. So. Bonjour. Bonjour.
Okay. Call back in 5 minutes when I finish with this segment. Call back in 5 minutes, please.
Small. Okay, good.
Now, can you see? I can see you.
I'd like you guys to look at that officer there. Look at him and see what he's asking. He asked for the passport. He asked
I
for the
enter now.
documents
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
machine.
Today here in Libongo, and I go towards Congo.
You don't have assurance.
Sorry?
Assurance.
I have.
That is corruption in the first degree.
Le permis de conduire, c'est pour quand tu roules là-bas, c'est dans ton pays. Ce n'est pas pour quand tu roules au Cameroun.
We. I have another one. This one international.
He demands for the insurance of the machine.
Le signature, c'est qui?
This is an international driver license.
Oui, je ne refuse pas. Mais qui avait signé? Parce qu'il ne voit pas la signature de l'autorité. Qui a signé?
Come on, I have all the papers.
Tu as tout. Mais ici, là, il n'y a pas la signature de l'autorité. Il n'y a pas la signature. On a seulement rempli. On n'a pas signé.
I have the international driver license. It's valid everywhere.
Je ne refuse pas. Je ne refuse pas.
Regarde, le permis international, non. Ça, c'est-à-dire elle peut marcher partout avec.
Ouais, est-ce que tu comprends ce que je dis?
Tu comprends très bien.
Now,
You
I
don't-
guess
you don't
that
need a
police
local
officer
stamp.
is thinking that
Qui a donc
when
signé?
he
Qui
takes
a
all the
signé?
books
Il a
and
déjà
keep,
dit.
the lady will put her hands in the pocket and offer bribe.
No, it doesn't
Watch
work
it.
like that.
Le ministère du Transport te fait un permis international, non? Au Cameroun, peut-être. Hein? C'est bon. C'est une convention, non? Bon, peut-être le truc de la zone CEMAC, elle fait donc un permis de transport. Bon, pour elle qui a signé, tu as vu le nom des signataires. Tu as vu le cachet ici là que c'est international. On a rempli. Où? Ça là. Où son propre cachet ici? Ça là, ça c'est son nom de signature du titulaire, donc elle. Le cachet où? Le cachet où? On a seulement rempli. Hein? Tu as vu le cachet où?
Now, you will
This
realize
is
that
valid
even when
all
his
over the
colleague,
world. I tell
other
you, see
police
my
officer
passport?
is telling him the books
60
are
country.
okay. The guy
Yes.
holds the
I have
books
all the
and
papers.
insists that he wants
You
to
ask
know
me
who
all
signed the
papers,
document.
I show you all the papers.
And the lady is insisting
I
that
have
all my
all the
papers are in
papers
order.
now.
But the policeman
All
wants
is
bribe.
correct. All is good. It is.
C'est pas correct. Je dis que qui a signé?
It's correct.
Ouais, est-ce que je refuse? Je suis en train de dire qui a signé ça.
All my papers are correct.
Validé par qui?
There's a hungry officer there. He wants bribe. Now his friends walks away, and he's like, now he will get to a point where the lady tourist will seize her books and drive off.
Bon, ça là, le genre ici là, c'est.
Come.
He's asking who
you're
signed
making it
this?
up.
Who signed this
This paper
document?
is correct. You're not gonna tell me anything otherwise. It is the correct paper. This is the paper. This is the paper. So I.
Si, si, tu vois la
The
signature.
policeman wants to know who signed the paper.
I'm gonna put this back in here.
Now the
and then
lady
I'm
takes her
gonna go
papers
because
and drives off.
all the papers are correct. You cannot tell me that they're not correct because they are correct. All of the papers are correct.
Ça là, ce n'est pas correct. Donc,
They are correct.
le national n'est pas correct.
It is.
Ça, vous avez même son preuve. Tout ce que tu as, c'est la preuve. Tu as pas son passeport international. Qui a validé ça? On a seulement peu rempli. Qui a validé? Qui a signé?
It is valid.
Vois-tu que tu appelles international là?
So the lady takes back his documentation and she drives off, calling
I'm gonna go to
essentially
Congo.
calling the bluff of the corrupt officer. The lady knows exactly what that officer wanted. He wanted bribe. He wanted bribe. He held the papers, the documents at hand. He knows that these documents are legit. But he kept on saying, I want to know who signed this paper. Who signed this paper? Now, in a good country where there is law and order, that officer will be fired for displaying that kind of character in front of an international tourist who should go out and be telling people about the goodness of the people of the country. But no, that will not happen in La République du Cameroon. Now I want you to watch a similar situation. It happened in Nigeria with the same tourists. This happened in Nigeria with the same tourists, and I will tell you exactly what happened when this took place in Nigeria. Take a look.
Benin. Yeah. Thank you.
That is the same woman, the same tourist.
How are you?
Hello.
Hello?
How is everything?
Everything is fine.
From where?
Netherlands.
Eh?
Netherlands.
Now you dey come? What do you bring come? See the time. Eh? Oh, Divisional. Where they go?
Abuja.
Abuja?
Si, Ojiri. Yo, Shero,
Now very soon the officer will ask for bribe.
7.30. Another light. Abuja didn't love.
How are you?
Give me something
How
else.
is everything?
Everything is fine.
Family.
Huh?
How's family?
Good.
Family is good.
This water.
Give me more.
Wait till you bring come.
Huh?
Wait till you bring come. I say wait till you bring come.
What you want give me?
That's asking for bribe there, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, give me something. Oh, give me something, huh? Give me something.
You give me something.
Give me money. Money.
Money. Why?
Corrupt officers.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. That was it there. Again, that was Nigeria. That woman riding from the Netherlands, passing through all countries on that machine. Here is she heading for Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, and she was stopped by that police at a checkpoint, and they're asking for bribe, money. Now, in Nigeria, there is some degree of law and order there. Listen, look at what happened in Nigeria. Those police officers are called back to the office and they are fired. Take a look there. More life and more TV. Mbaga song later. Those are the corrupt officers who are looking for a bribe from that lady from Netherlands. They are called into the headquarters and they are fired. Their badges and uniforms stripped from their bodies. That is where there is law and order, ladies and gentlemen. They are being stripped for attempting to collect bribe from the same tourists who went over to Cameroon, and La République du Cameroon's police did exactly the same thing, and of course, nothing happened to them. Look at what a country that has some regard for law will do. That is in Nigeria. All right. They are about to be marched out, not just out of that office for good, but out of the Nigerian police for good. They are stripped of everything. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what a country with respect for law should do. You saw the difference with La République du Cameroon. The same, Cameroon police stopped the same lady, try collecting bribe, try to squeeze bribe out of her. She wouldn't give them a dime. She goes to Nigeria, the same thing happened, and the officers are fired, they are dismissed. This is the kind of country we want to build in Ambazonia, where laws are respected. When you go out and try to force your way, have your way, by extorting money from people, not just money, anything from people, you are fired and possibly sent to jail. Chairman Mas, I would like your take on this, on what you are watching there.
Well, this is a typical reaction from Cameroon. It's nothing strange. Bribery, I've experienced that myself, where the officers tell me that, look, these long pockets that we're giving, is so that they can put something in there and go and share with the boss in the evening.
Stay on the line. Stay on the line.
Yeah. So, for the fact that this police or these officers, nothing will happen to them in Cameroon, it's no strange. As a matter of fact, they will actually be rewarded.
Yes.
For trying to get money for themselves and their bosses, because their bosses send them out on a mission. On a daily basis, they have to come back with a certain amount of money and give to their bosses. That's what they do. They go out purposely to go and extort money and bring in the evening and give a certain portion to their bosses. Any officer who does not give that amount to the boss will not find himself on the road again.
Yeah, we know that story. We know that story.
Yes.
You go to the road,
So,
you don't come back with enough money, you will never go back there. You will never go back there. But I hope that La République du Cameroon maybe begins to learn from the example of Nigeria, that they will actually call in those. It's not like there is no corruption in the police force in Nigeria. Of course, it is rampant, highly rampant. But when it is caught in this situation with an international visitor, they did what they did, stripping those officers and dismissing them from the force. That is a good example. That's a good example. Now, I want to take you guys, ladies and gentlemen, back to ground zero in Ambazonia. I have a comrade online I would like to review his name. He is here to tell us what is happening in Bafut, talking about the abductions, the torture, the extortions that have been taking place or going on in Bafut for a long time, and the pain that people are going through it. Hello. Hello.
Hello, comrade.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, tell me this story about what is happening in Bafut. We hear of abductions, ransom takings, and so on. I think somebody mentioned that at the moment there are about 6 people who were picked up in Bafut, and nobody knows their whereabouts. Tell us a little bit about that.
The scenario of adoptions and ransom taken in Bafut has been going on for a long time now. And it has gone so unbearable to the population of Bafut, Mundum, Meta. Presently, there is one guy in Bafut with a nickname called Bin Laden.
Okay.
That guy is a torture agent in Bafut. He has made especially Meta Bengui completely as his fertile ground. Each time he goes down to Mundam, goes down to Jindum, and pick people up and take them to Bafut and lock them up and collect monies. as I'm presently talking to you, he has 6 people in his keeping for the past 3 days. Nobody knows their whereabouts.
6 people in his keeping.
Yes, we don't know the reason for his adoption of those people, and he is planning to come and adopt more people, especially in Munam and Jindum.
Now, for how long has this for how long has this been going on?
For the past 2 years. For the past 2 years, he has been doing this. There is a group that he adopted them, take the vehicles and take their materials. They have given him up to 3 million francs. He is still not releasing anybody.
And what is his name?
They call him Bin Laden.
They call him Bin Laden. Is he a native of Bafut, or he is just hiding in there? Does he claim to be an amber fighter?
He's an amber fighter in the under the LG in Bafut.
Okay. Well, I would not want to believe that he is under any LGA in Bafut, because I don't know of any LGA that would allow a fellow like that hiding in the bush and abducting, taking ransom from people and making life miserable for them.
He goes that low even to that somebody is owing somebody 1,500 francs. He goes and kidnap that person and keep him for weeks.
Okay. Is he doing this alone? Is he doing this all alone, or he has a team?
He has a team. He goes around with bikes, and he has a team. More than 8 people that he's moving around with. He is presumed to be the second commander in Bafut.
Do we know his real names and his photos? If we have his photos, we can make use of it here by publishing them so that he has nowhere to hide. We do not tolerate people like that. This struggle, the conflict is not for people like that who are out to punish our own people who have already been punished enough.
Sir, in the days ahead, you have all that information.
Yes, we will need his photos and everything you can have about him, and we need to know the description of his hideout, because wherever he hides out, we will get the legitimate restoration fighters to get him out of there.
You surely get that in the days ahead.
All right. Thank you, sir, for the call.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to open the phone lines just for very few callers, because I will have to be out of here very soon. I will have to be out of here very soon. I am not accepting video calls. You have to call. If you are calling in, call on the regular line. I do not accept video calls, please. See some people trying to do video calls here. We don't accept video calls on live shows. So go ahead and call if you have any contribution, any question. Please put the phone on the screen. Put the phone number on the screen for people to be able to call. Some of you know the phone number already, so go ahead and call. Okay, I have the first caller here. Hello. 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 All right, I guess the guy is silent. Again, you have the phone number right there on your screen. Go ahead and call if you want to contribute to the show. Hello.
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay, where are you calling from, sir?
I'm from Ground Zero.
All right. What is on your mind?
Hello?
I can hear you. Go on. What is on your mind?
What I'm saying,
Sorry, sir, you have a bad connection. You have a bad connection. Thank you. You have a great night. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I guess you are calling from Manu County.
Now I'm calling from Kumba.
Oh, from Kumba. Okay, what is on your mind, sir?
No, I saw what happened there in Yaounde. They scattered our brother's house. I'm really angry.
Everybody should be angry. Everybody should be angry.
Yes, I'm really angry. You see, God, although God is God of long suffering, but God is going to avenge. God is going to avenge. And I pray that I don't want you to mention that if we lose that war, never lose it, because God is on our side. We will never lose this war.
God says He helped those who help themselves. If our people are not ready to help themselves, God will not help them. I will say this again and again and again, because there are people who think that this struggle is for some people. It's not for them, it's not about them, and they just remain nonchalant about it.
Yes, there are people like that in every generation. People like that, even in the days of Moses. You have people like that, but the minority, the remnant that stood, they won the war. They won the war. You see, because the Bible says even from the minority that stood, they won the war. Even the days of Moses, when Moses led them, he led about how many thousand people from Egypt to the wilderness. But only Joshua and Caleb, and God testifies that Joshua and Caleb had a different spirit. The minority of the ambassador, they will win.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let me get over to the other callers. Thank you for calling. Hello. 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 Can you turn down the volume of your TV and focus on your phone, please? Hello. Please, when you call, turn down the volume of your phone and focus, and turn down the volume of your set and focus on the phone. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, where are you calling from, sir?
Hello. Yes, I'm Jude calling from Ground Zero.
Okay, what is your contribution?
My contribution is this. I'm saying this to all our people in diaspora, all ambassadors that are in diaspora. They are seeing what is happening here with their fellow brothers. Even right there in La Republic, they don't have peace. And your last show yesterday was very interesting. You ambassador listened to Eric Chinje, and they heard the way Eric Chinje was so calm and the way he was speaking, which shows that they are losing it. So I'm saying this to say that all Amazonians that are in diaspora, let them not pocket their hand. They should put hands in their pocket. Even the 200-man club that you launch should be doubled to 400. Let every person in diaspora should fund this struggle. Let them fund this. The problem is finance, as you used to tell them every time.
Yeah.
The problem is money.
Yeah.
If the money is there, 2 months is too much for us to reach where. 2 months is too much. Our boys are ready. They have laid down their lives ready to fight for this war and restore our country. But our people that are in diaspora, they don't want to fund it. Why? People that have 2 jobs should struggle and have 3 jobs. Those that have 1 should struggle and have 2. So that our boys should not lack any equipment. They should be well equipped.
All right. Thank
so
you.
Look at what is happening to our people.
Thank
you.
You
think that Chingy came up yesterday with that his fake survey for nothing? It is because of it. You announced that 200-man club, and he has been having a sleepless night. He know what that money will do. He know what our boys can do.
All
so,
right.
Thank you very much.
I hope that they
thank
hear
you. For
you.
The good job you are doing.
Thank you. I hope that They hear you here in the diaspora. You can imagine the passion coming from ground zero. We hope that, and I'm talking about the 200 club, please. The doors are still open. I asked for 200, just 200 Amazonians who will come in and say, Comrade Chris, I am going to give you $1,000 between now and the end of March. We have a big project we are working on, ladies and gentlemen. We have a project we are working on, and we need this money to go towards that. This is our year of occupation. And when I say occupation, I guess you'll understand what I mean. But we need those of you who are really passionate about this conflict, about this struggle out there to fund this project. All right, the phone line is open. Go ahead and call if you want to call to contribute. I have only about 6 minutes or so to get out of here. All right. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, this is Ephraim, Chairman Ephraim.
Oh, the one and only
yes.
chairman himself.
Yes. Yes, I listened to a good part of the program, and there's something I need to talk about, and then which is relevant to what we were talking about, and then something that we have not touched on.
Okay.
I happen to know, this issue of abductions carried out by thieves that go to various places from Bafoot has touched me and touched me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Jindom has been a victim, like that person said. They picked up many people from Jindom, they take them to Bafoot, get whatever ransom they can have from the families, and then let them go. And there's a particular case of somebody that has been there. He was coming back from a funeral in an area they call Sam. He was picked up by these guys. His bag taken, he was riding on the bike by that person. Two of them were picked up, and they were taken to Bafoot. And the wife of the particular person I was referring to went to Bafoot and then saved him. She paid ransom, and they kept the bike, asking for how many hundreds of thousands of dollars. They do this money. They do this a lot. I don't know where to come about, but something really needs to be done about this. Secondly, I've been hearing much about vaccine for malaria, which is an initial vaccine, a new vaccine. And it was sent to La Republique. And since they believe that Azonia is still part of them, they chose two areas that they call regions. We know them as Amazonia. They chose two of those areas, and they were so kind, they were so loving, and the people they call their brothers. They put in Amazonia. They were so loving. They chose Bamenda and Buya, that is to say, the northern zone and southern zone of Amazonia, and the places where these vaccines are administered. So the question is, if you have vaccines
comrade, I know you are talking.
Very dirty, nasty.
Yes.
And maybe after that, we can start thinking about those nasty areas. No, we went straight to Amazonia.
Yes, we will. Comrade, your
have all the interest in eliminating us. And I'm telling you, the people there, beware. Be careful what you take. Be careful what you give your children.
Yes, comrade, the quality of your call is very poor. But I know you are talking about the vaccine. We will find time next week to talk about that vaccine, and maybe I will bring you on the show. Let's discuss it, because there is a lot of skepticism out there about what it is all about. Thanks for the call.
Okay, you're not getting me. You're not getting me well.
It wasn't very clear. I don't know. The voice was so shallow and breaking off and on.
Okay. My phone was not on speaker, and I'm in a car. I'm sorry, but I think I made the point that Jindom has been a real victim of these abductions, these kidnappings, like these from Babu. They go in ever so often and just pick up people and go away. Either in Jindom itself or you go to Sang or those neighboring areas. This has been there for a long time, as I said, and I wonder what the issue is in Bafut. I wonder what they and I think this affects even areas like Tuba. So these two that they would like to call themselves Ambaba, and I want to call on the people of Jindom and the Menemo as a whole. These are not Amba boys.
No, they are not. They are not.
Yeah, before the war broke out in earnest, they were thieves. And during this war, they are thieves. Ataranji has simply mined the place. He is leveraging that, getting a lot of these boys, paying the money to go commit these atrocities and then call themselves Amber Boys so that they will turn the population against the fighters. And unfortunately, some of our people are buying anything that happens and say, Amber Boys, Amber Boys. No, they are not Amber Boys, and we renounce them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Again, we will come back next week to talk about this vaccine that is being propagated, sold to our people on ground one. Okay. I got somebody here. Consider me one of the 200 persons, $1,000 to March end or March ending. Thank you, ma'am. I know you calling from you. Sending this message from Europe. God bless you. Again, comrades, as we hear the passion from ground zero from our people, they want to see this conflict end in our favor. But for us to do so, we depend solely on some of you out there. Some of you out there have deep pockets, much more than others. It is to you I am appealing for these 200 people. Imagine we'll find 200 people who can give us $1,000 between now and end of March. Just imagine what we are able to do with that amount of money at our disposal. I am appealing to you all, listening to the sound of my voice. Please, send me a message and say, comrade, I want to belong to the I want to belong to the 200 club. I will send you my 1,000 before March is over. Please send me a message. And if you don't want to be in the club forum, that is fine. That is just okay. But we will know that at least we'll have your name somewhere. I am really appealing to all of you to consider this. If you want us to do something here at this interim government, you want to see us carry out projects that will lead to a free and independent Southern Cameroon, please consider doing so. Now, before I go, Chairman Maz, unfortunately, I can't get back to you. Thank you very much for joining the show, because I have to get out of here as soon as possible. But before I go, I just want to remind Ground Zero, lockdown starts on Saturday. We are appealing to everybody on the ground. Please stay home on Saturday, stay home on Sunday, and of course Monday will be our regular ghost town. Monday will be our regular ghost town. We ask you to please stay home. Let us send a message, a defiant message to La République du Cameroon that they say a dog doesn't return to its vomit. A dog doesn't return to its vomit. Never again want to return to these rituals called Youth Day, 11 February, 20th May, and so on and so forth, imposed upon us by a country that annexed and colonized us. We're calling an end to it and calling the bluff of La République du Cameroon politicians and their leaders to it. So please, we have declared Saturday the 10th, the 11th, the 12th of February lockdown day in Ambazonia. Now, we know there was this confusion out there about lockdown starting on the 6th. I am glad you all got the information that lockdown is starting on Saturday, the 10th and not the 6th. And live is going on ground zero. But we want to see that live shut down to send a message to our enemies, La République du Cameroon, ladies and gentlemen, that Ambazonia and Ambazonians will live free or die fighting. Good night. Thanks for watching.